it's me, MC of Healthy by George. I come every Sunday and Thursday to talk about health and wellness as we get older. And today I'm going to talk about sodium or salt. And think about subscribing. I would love to see you here every Sunday and Thursday and join me in this conversation because I don't think we can talk enough about this. Health and wellness is key to staying a thriving individual as we get older. Why are we talking about salt? One of the biggest things that happened most recently is a study was released that showed if you used a salt replacement, you were able to reduce the recurrence of stroke by 14% and death by 12%. Those are big numbers. So it really makes the issue of sodium in our food a big one. And I think it's more than just telling somebody to reduce their salt at the table, because it's really more about the salt we have in our foods. I think what is really teaching us is that when we have a risk, such as hypertension, and hypertension runs in my family, and I think many of the people in my family, we kind of love salt. That table salt gets us every time. And it plays a role in our food in that it's a preservative. But it's not great for our bodies. When we eat processed foods that are high in sodium, it is a hit to our bodies. And it doesn't help really. It increases our hypertension. It makes us have a risk for heart disease and stroke. And we know already, because this is February, the month of heart awareness, that stroke and cardiac problems are the number one killer of both men and women. We really have to do anything we can to help ourselves stay healthy into our older age. And I think it's not enough just to tell a patient, reduce your sodium and to make it less than a teaspoon. Well, what's a teaspoon when you look at these packages? I can't remember what a teaspoon is. I have a hard time even knowing what a gram of sugar is as equivalent to a teaspoon. Why don't they put these packages with just common language in it? Why does it have to be a gram? Why does it have to be a milligram? Why does it have to be things that we just don't understand what that quantity is, like simple teaspoons and tablespoons? It would just be such a helpful thing for me if it was just, this is approximately 2 teaspoons, or maybe they do the both. They give you the milligram or the gram, and they say it's about 2 teaspoons or 1 teaspoon or whatever. Help us. So how can we help ourselves? They say we should limit our salt intake to around a teaspoon or half a teaspoon a day. That's not a lot of salt, my friends, when you think about it. Apparently, it's about 23 milligrams of sodium in a package. And when you think about some of these sodium packages, and every one of them has sodium. If it's packaged, it has sodium. If it's in a can, it has sodium. It's being frozen, it's got sodium. I think the other thing too is when we go to fast food restaurants, we can say, please don't add any salt. Or restaurants, please don't add any salt. Because that could help us in the long run. Although I know that all of us love flavor. I know I love flavor too. I'm a big foodie. Give me my fried chicken with some flavor in it. But the truth is, sodium, while it has a role in our bodies, it helps us with our muscles. It helps us regulate fluids. It helps us with nerve function. And it does have a key role. But having too much sodium, which is going on in our culture because of all the processed foods and all the necessary preservatives so that it'll have long shelf life, it's damaging our hearts and it's damaging our bodies. That if you do have hypertension that runs in your family, you're at higher risk if you're eating a lot of sodium. And I think that's the hard part, is how do we cut back our sodium? It's going to take reading the packages. Look at what has the least amount of sodium. Buy those things in cans, the beans and whatever else you get in a can that has no added sodium. Look on the back of packages, no matter what you're purchasing. If it is in a package, I guarantee you it has sodium in it. Let's help ourselves by doing something that helps us reduce our sodium to about a teaspoon, which is 23 milligrams of sodium a day. 23. That's where I think we're getting really into trouble. And I think we have to, now that we see that reducing sodium in our diets can help reduce strokes and death, that's really brings sodium and all the sodium that's being included in our foods into a category where maybe we need to have special labeling. Maybe we need to take that consideration like they did with trans fats or the red dye. And maybe we need to do something that really encourages manufacturers to reduce the amount of sodium that's used in our foods. So how much sodium do you use? I know for me, I have this table salt. It's called the real salt. It's some salt. It's a sea salt found in Utah. There was a dried up like salt bed that was found under some volcanic ash. So it's ancient sea salt, but I don't know if that's just a clever way of selling salt. And so it's not your regular salt in a blue box that has iodine in it. And I do try to watch what I do eat because my body has a tendency to have hypertension. So I have to watch that. I take my blood pressure every day. And we need to be aware of this. We women are at the higher risk because we don't understand our stroke or our heart attack symptoms. They're not well characterized. And so something that could be like a jaw pain or some kind of, backache could possibly be a heart attack. So we have to really pay attention. And I think starting with sodium is a great start. The other thing is know your blood pressure. Take a blood pressure reading every single day. We have all kinds of ways to get those readings. I think the one thing that's very fascinating, though, is that don't use the ones that have the light from the phones. A young woman was talking about, she was a wonderful Black owner, CEO, talking about blood pressure. And you really need a cuff because these light sensors and some of the devices don't pick up the correct measures when you have a lot more melanin in your skin. So people who have brown and black skin, they're not going to get the accurate reading. And that was really discovered during the COVID epidemic when they learned that these oximeters don't read the level of oxygen in people who have higher levels of melanin in their skin. So we really need to learn more about our bodies. We need to take up the mantle or the sword or whatever it is. We need to be the ones who are charging forth to fight for our wellness. And it may need to be something that's done at the manufacturing level. We need to have less sodium in any of our packaged foods. We need to tell fast food restaurants we want less salt. We have to do things that are going to preserve our health as we get older. Join me, friends, and let's pay more attention to our sodium intake over the next week or two. Let's see how we can be more mindful and look at packaging so that we can decrease our sodium intake. And if you are, let go of all those packaged foods and cook your food. I'm trying to cook more food and eat more fresh, whole foods. It's the healthier way because then no one's added any sodium to it. Be well, my friends. We have this one precious life. Let's live it to the fullest and let's do everything we can to keep ourselves strong and healthier in our mind and body as we get older. Check me out every Sunday and Thursday, and please think about subscribing. I'd love to see you here. Bye-bye, my friends. See you next time.
So thank you so much for joining me at Healthy by George. I hope you found the information inspiring and that it encourages you on your wellness journey. Because remember, your body, your well-being are a most precious gift, and every tiny action taken daily can make a huge difference. I hope the information here is educational purposes and is not meant to replace your medical care. See your doctor and talk about what works for you. If you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me continuing creating content that inspires and empowers you to live your best life. Goodbye for now, and join me again at the next Healthy by George.